For today's lesson, you need work text pages 145 to 46. Welcome back to English 2. Do you know the days of the week? You may have learned a song about them like this. God made 7 days in a week, days in a week, days in a week. God made 7 days in a week. Can you name them? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, makes 7. What about the months of the year? There are 12 months. Do you know a song about them? Here's one. There are 12 months in a year, months in a year, months in a year. There are 12 months in a year. Can you name them? January, February, March and April, May, June and July, August, September, October, November, December, when Christ was born. In this lesson, we will learn about proper nouns for words on calendars, like days of the week and months of the year. We will also learn how to write special titles and how to write initials. Now, let me tell you a secret. Capitalizing the days of the week and the months of the year is not done in every language. For instance, in Spanish and French, the days of the week or the months of the year are not capitalized. But we're going to be talking about the English language. So we are going to learn to capitalize. Let's look at some sentences. My family goes to church on Sunday. Do you see a day name there? I see Sunday, so that should be capitalized. Here's another. On Saturday, Tara played a game. I wonder what she played. It looks like maybe chess. And we do know that Saturday is supposed to be capitalized. So again, in English, the days of the week are capitalized. What about the months? We capitalize those as well. The winds in March help the kites fly. Do you remember that March is a month? That should be capitalized. What about this one? The family went on a trip in July. I wonder where they went. Wherever they went, they should capitalize July. Sometimes a month is used in a specific date, like your birthday. Do you know your birthday? Do you know the birthday of the United States? July 4, 1776. Here we have the month, the number of the day, and the year. When we write these together, we have what we call the date. And we already talked about capitalizing the month, but there is something else we need when we write the date. When the date is written out with the day and the year, we need a comma after the number of the day. So let's show that we should put a comma right there, and then I am going to show you the date written correctly. Capital month J for July and comma after the day since we have the year. Let's look at another date. Isaac was born April 24, 2010. What month do you see? I see April, so I know that needs to be capitalized. What about a comma? Where should that go? It goes after the day. So this day is 24 and the year is 2010. So the comma goes after the day to separate the day from the year. So if I rewrite this sentence all correctly, it's going to look like that. Are you getting all this information? We have to remember what to capitalize and remember what to punctuate. Now, other calendar words that are capitalized are holidays. Do you like holidays? I sure do. Do you know how many holidays God gave to the Israelites? He wanted them to use those special days to remember some of the struggles they had come through and how He had always provided for them. Let's look at some American holidays in these sentences. The first thing I notice is that Veterans Day should be capitalized for two reasons. First, it's the first word in the sentence. It is also a holiday, so the V should be capitalized as well as the word day. Veterans Day is the name of the holiday. Now, this is an example of a common noun like the word day, which is usually not capitalized, becoming a proper noun as in the name of a specific holiday. Then it should definitely be capitalized. Let's look at it again. Veterans Day is capitalized. Now, do you see anything else? What about the month November? Yes, that should be capitalized. What about a comma after the day, that number? We don't need a comma here because that day, the number 11, is at the end of the sentence, and we don't have a year. Now, if we did have a year, then we would need a comma. Like if we said November 11, 2010, we'd need a comma after the 11. Here's another sentence. Was Kara born on New Year's Day? New Year's is a holiday, so we capitalize new and years and day. Capital letters are also used with special titles that people have. Many of you call your aunts and uncles by their special name. It's important to show respect for a person in the way we say their name, and if we ever write it, we need to write it correctly. Do you have an aunt or an uncle or a grandma or grandpa? Let's look at this sentence. Beth walked with Grandma Hall. Beth is a name as well as the first word in the sentence, so it should be capitalized. Grandma Hall is what she calls her grandmother, so both Grandma and Hall should be capitalized. Do you see a name here? Karen is a name, so we know that should be capitalized. The word aunt is the title of respect, so both of the words should be capitalized. Now, let me mention something that you'll learn later, but I want to go ahead and tell you now. If you are talking about your aunt and you don't say a name with it, you don't usually capitalize it. For instance, if we had that sentence like this, yesterday my aunt bought a new car, we don't have another name with the title aunt, so we would not capitalize the word aunt. Now, wait a minute. I thought we said if we were talking about a specific person, we should capitalize it because it's a proper name. Look at that sentence again. When we say my aunt, we are talking about a specific person, but we are not telling the name of the specific person. We are telling how she is related to us. We only capitalize the relative's title if we are using it as their name. So when I talk about maybe I call my aunt, I don't need to capitalize it. But if I talk about my Aunt Claudia or my Aunt Kathy, I do need to capitalize it because I am including their name. Let's look at some more. We have a name, Jack, and part of his name is the word uncle, so we capitalize both. If we just say my uncle, we would not capitalize it. Let me ask you this. Do you go by your full name or do you go by just your first name? Maybe you go by your middle name. Some people have several middle names. And some people go by just their initials, maybe the first letter of one or two names. Let's see how we capitalize that. If I have the name John Paul Daniels, all three names should be capitalized. What if we abbreviate John Paul? This person might go by J.P. Daniels. We need to do two things to those initials. We need to capitalize them, and we need to put a period after them. So the correct way to write a name that includes initials is like this: capital J, period, capital P, period, and capital D for Daniels. All right, here's another sentence, and it looks a little confusing to me because it doesn't have the proper capitalization and punctuation. I think it is saying this girl's name is K.S. Page and she swims in the lake. But I can be clearer if I capitalize K and S and her last name Page and add periods after each of those initial letters. So K.S. Page swims in the lake is much better. Now, I see a couple problems here. Can you find them? Sam, Lance, M, Brooks should all be capitalized. Do we need any punctuation anywhere? We need a period after the M. So here's the corrected sentence. See, Sam, Lance, M, and then a period, and Brooks, those are all capitalized. Ooh, we covered a lot of ground today, but that's okay. I know you are able to put your mind to it and you can keep up. Let's look at our work text page now. So on 145, the first part you need to do, write the underlined part correctly. So you take what's underlined and you rewrite it, capitalizing the B like I did and the F and the other B, and then adding any periods that you might need or any commas. Down here, use 3 underlined marks to mark 2 capitalization mistakes in each sentence. And I know that K should be capitalized because it's the first word, and then King David, that's his name, so both of those words should be capitalized. And you go ahead and finish that, and we'll talk about that later. So pause the program and finish 1 through 8